Hey guys, it's Mike Vandervloot with Street City Realty Inc. brokerage here in London, Ontario on this week's Q&A session with Costa Poulopoulos. Costa, this week's question has to do with Clause 8 and the pre-printed clauses in the AREA Agreement of Purchase and Sale. And there's a section in Clause 8 that says present use or current use. And what we're finding is sometimes you have offers come in and the actual zoning for the property will be there. And then other times there'll be what the actual current use is. Which one are we supposed to use?
Great question, Mike. And there is confusion on that, and I'm glad you brought that one up, because Clause 8 basically says in the pre-printed Ontario Real Estate Association standard forms, and I'll just read the one part, it says, and that its present use, and there's a big blank there to fill in, may be lawfully continued. And so what that basically says, if you're putting in the zoning, it's the wrong thing to do, because what you want to put in there is the exact present use. If it's a single family residential property, then put in there single family residential may be lawfully continued. Continuing with what the clause reads, its present use single family residential may be lawfully continued. Its present use two family residential may be lawfully continued. You don't want to get hung up on the zoning, because here's the reason why. There are a lot of semi-detached properties that are in an R2-2 zoning.
Sure. Which
the consumer might think, well, wait a second, R2-2 zoning, that means two families.
I got you.
And yet it's a semi, you're not allowed to have two families in there. It's a semi-detached single-family dwelling, so you need to put in there, single-family residential may be lawfully continued. If you put R2-2, you may confuse the buyer, where the buyer actually thought one thing, either because of their own or their agent said, oh yeah, it's an R2-2 zoning, you can put in a suite in the lower level, which is wrong, because there's other criteria that go with not just the R2-2 zoning. You need the fire code, you need to have the ESA, there's a lot of other setbacks, so that's a whole different world. So you're better off in the case of zoning on clause number 8 to leave it blank. So if somebody walks into a semi-detached home and they're going to buy it and you leave it blank, the clause will read, and that its present use may be lawfully continued. You don't fill in the blank. That basically means whatever's presently there may be lawfully continued. Well, what did you see, Mr. Buyer? Well, I saw there was a single family living there. Well, that's what you bought. So if you're not sure, leave it blank, then put in the zoning. Definitely do not put in the zoning.
Awesome. Thanks for clarifying, Costa.
Thanks, Mike.